Wake up!
Shalom, and welcome to Shield of Wisdom. I'm your host, Priest Awam, and we have a real hype show for you today. We're going to go into the destruction of the brothers, the 10 tribes that was here in the Americas long before the Europeans came. I have my special guest today.
Brother Tharwa.
Welcome, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank
my
you for having
special
me.
guest today,
Irash Malak.
yes. We say shalom to all you brothers and sisters out there.
Shalom.
So we're gonna go into it. My brothers are from what tribe are you from, my brother?
Zebulon.
Zebulon is from the tribe of Zebulon, from Guatemala to Panama. My brother here is from
The tribe of Benjamin.
yes. So we have Thara and we have Ra'ash Malak.
Khan.
And I'm Priest Awam. So let's go into it, right? Really, to get started, I want to go into the Apocrypha. I want to show how the 10 tribes, we came over here to the Americas, you know, from the captivity of the Assyrians. I'm going to read in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, the 40th verse. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, which is Hosea the king, whom Salmanessar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Asareth, or meaning the new land. They dwelt there, then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, which is meaning in the end time. So you see, it took a year and a half to get into the Americas from the Assyrian captivity. We're talking about approximately like 471 BC. So long before any European stepped foot in the Americas, we were already here. So we're going to go into it, and I hope this will be edifying to you, to bring a little edification to our brothers, the 10 tribes, you know? Okay, Thara?
All right. I want to start off, basically, we're going to go ahead and start off letting you know where we're getting our sources of information from. This book here is called Devastation of the Indies, A Brief Account by Bartholomew de las Casas. To give you a little reader digest on him, he is an ordained bishop by the church during the time of the conquistadors, when the Spaniards came over from Europe and started their conquest, conquering the land at all expense. Okay, so we're going to get right into the book of Devastation of the Indies. This is the same thing I have here. This book just barely started getting back on the shelves. It was prohibited and taken off the shelves by the Catholic Church. It's just barely been reinstated by revolutionary authors and publishing companies that have been reprinting it and getting it back out there to our brothers and sisters.
Otra cosa también para mis hermanos en español, quiero decirles del libro, el libro Bartholomew de la Casa. Si muchos saben que si nacieron ustedes en Centroamérica, Suramérica, usted sabe que esos fue uno de los libros que leyeron en clase. Bartholomew de la Casa fue un que uno saben como padre en la Iglesia Católica, que escribió este libro para decir cómo los europeos los atacaron a nosotros, los destruyeron, los mataron y los dejaron por nada. Y así de eso vamos a comenzar a leer ahorita.
Con eso dicho, lo que queremos hacer es identificar a la gente, enseñarles que ustedes también, siendo latinos de Brasil a México y todo ese terreno en medio, son los hijos de Israel.
Sí.
El libro se llama Devastation of the Indies, A Brief Account. Okay. Now, I'm going to start off right at the beginning of the book. It's going right into the introduction. On page 27, it says, the Indies were discovered in the year 1492. In the following year, a great and many Spaniards went there with the intention of settling the land. Thus, 49 years have passed since the first settlers penetrated the land. The first so claimed being the largest and most populated island called Española, or we know it today as the Dominican, also known as Haiti, as Haitian. So it says, which was a 600 league circumference, is giving you the size of the island. Around it, in all directions, are many other islands, some very big, some very small, and all of them were, as we saw with our own eyes, densely populated with the natives called Indians. This large island was perhaps the most densely populated place in the whole world.
Wow.
There must be close to 200 leagues of land on this island. And the seacoast had been explored for more than 10,000 leagues, and each day more of it is being explored. And all the land so far discovered is as a beehive of people. It is as though God had crowded into these lands the mass majority of mankind.
Wow. Very populated.
Very populated place.
Wow.
But this is also prophecy fulfilled. As we read the scriptures, we understand. I'm going to go ahead and touch in on the scripture right now, which is Deuteronomy 28 and 62. And we're going to, this scripture, keep it in mind, because it's going to touch base on what I'm going to now and what I'm going to get into. But we're just going to get into it early. While the brother gets the scripture, I'm going to go over it in Spanish.
Okay.
Okay. Lo que leí es, aquí en la página 27, es que cuando vinieron los conquistadores aquí a la tierra que se llama América o Centroamérica o Suramérica, cuando ellos vinieron, el primer lugar que llegaron era la isla de la Dominica, o Haiti. Cuando llegaron ahí, dicen que era el lugar en el mundo que tenía más gente que en cualquier otro lugar en el mundo. Cuando llegaron se oían como abejas sonando de gente, el multitud de gente. Okay. Y vamos a leer en inglés y después en español Éxodo 32, disculpe, Deuteronomía 28 y 62.
Deuteronomy 28 and 62. And you shall be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God.
Y quedarías en poca gente, en lugar de haber sido como las estrellas del cielo, en multitud, por cuanto no obedeciste la voz de Jehová tu Dios.
Okay, with that said, he's telling us here, everywhere, we're going to go into quite a bit of this book so we can touch base and identify ourselves with who we are. As we see, everywhere that the conquistadors get, as you'll see as further we get into this book, everywhere that we went, it was the most people they've ever seen. We were multiplied as the sands of the sea and as the stars of heaven. And this is a prophecy fulfilled that the Father gave to us. En el libro de Deuteronomía 28 y 62, como leyó el hermano Malak, dice que Dios los bendició y los hizo como las estrellas del cielo y como la arena en el mar. Pero si no obedecemos, así como tuvo gusto en hacerlos tantos, va a tener gusto en deshacerlos y hacerlos mínimos.
Sí, hermano.
Good. Okay. With that said, I'm going to continue reading. Did you have anything you need to add, brother?
Go ahead.
Okay. It says, yet into this sheepfold, into this land of meek outcasts, there came some Spaniards who immediately behaved as raving wild beasts, wolves, tigers, lions that had been starved for many days. Brother, can you please get 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8?
Okay, I'll read that for you.
Thank you, my brother.
1 Peter 5 and 8.
Please bear with us.
Be sober, be vigilant,
Okay.
because your adversary, the devil,
All right.
as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Okay. As Priest Warm read out of the Apocrypha, he said that we would come out here to this land to see if we may keep the commandments.
Right.
And as we did come to this land, unto this day, the majority of Israel does not keep his commandments.
That's right. They're taught we're not under the law.
They're taught we're not under the law. That's why he said, so read that over me.
Be sober.
Be sober. In other words, keep it to mind. Keep a clear mind. Keep a realistic mind. According to Scripture, right?
Be vigilant.
Be vigilant. Be on point.
Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Con, and as we read here, I'll read it one more time. It says, yet unto this sheepfold. I'll go to this precept out of this book on page 29 with the word sheepfold, because we are the 12 lost sheep of Israel, the 12 lost tribes. We're trying to get back to the fold of the Father.
That's right.
It says, yet unto this sheepfold, into this land of meek outcasts, there came some Spaniards who immediately behaved as raving wild beasts, wolves, tigers, and lions to devour us.
That's right.
See, the Father brought this other nation upon us to devour us for not keeping those statutes and commandments that he gave us. If we weren't going to keep these, we might as well stayed on the other side of the hemisphere not obeying them.
That's right.
You're saying you're going to run from the wickedness to be consumed in more wickedness? Don't make very much sense. We're going to go ahead and break it down in Spanish. It says, a estas abejas o cabras, diferentes nombres que tienen, dicen, cuando llegaron los españoles, vinieron como lobos, tigres, leones, viendo a quién se consumían. Ok, vamos a leer 1 Pedro 5:8.
1 Pedro 5:8. Sed templados y velad, porque vuestro adversario, el diablo, cual león rugiente, anda alrededor buscando a quien devore.
Ok, lo que está diciendo el Señor, palabra de Dios, lo que está diciendo el Señor es que estén vigilantes, pongan atención. Cuando nosotros venimos de Jerusalén aquí al estado que se llaman los Américas, o Centroamérica, o Suramérica, o la isla de Cuba, Dominica, todas estas islas, la razón que salimos de allá es porque no estábamos obedeciendo las leyes de nuestro Señor. Salimos de ahí para estar aquí solos, para que así no tuviéramos que tener todas esas imágenes lujosas y nomás pensar en el Señor y seguir la palabra del Señor. Pero como hemos hecho hasta este mismo día, no seguimos la palabra del Señor. Lo que hacemos es, la imagen de nuestro corazón y de nuestra mente, seguimos nosotros, no la imagen y la mente del Señor.
Y por eso fue que nos pasó las cosas que nos están pasando, así como explica mi hermano. Esas cosas nosotros no las hemos escrito. Esos son libros de los europeos a las personas que lo hicieron estos. So, nosotros tenemos que leer en las palabras, tenemos que a buscar lo que dice el Señor.
El señor Bartolomé de las Casas, que escribió este libro, es un religioso, es un padre que se fuera llamando, ¿verdad? Un padre o alguien que enseña la palabra de Dios. Y él escribió esto porque dice que él, haciendo español, cuando vio todas las cosas que hicieron los españoles, le daba pena de ser español, porque eran cosas del demonio. Pero todas estas cosas que estamos hablando están escritas en el libro de la palabra del Señor. Si nomás leemos, aprendemos. Y así es como nos salimos de estas cosas. Pero mientras no sabemos, vamos a seguir continuando en las mismas cosas.
En peor cosas también.
En peor cosas. With that said, con eso dicho, voy a seguir en inglés y luego en español. With that said, it says, the Spanish in the New World behave as they were unaccountable to no ecclesiastical or royal authority, and their military advantages made them unbeatable by the local natives. Hence, the conquistadors ignored the priest, disregarded all royal orders, and as lions, as tigers, hungry for a long time, devoured the lamb like Indians.
Wow.
The lamb. We are little Christs, as we know. The Christ is called the Lamb of God. And this is what he's been doing, devouring the little lambs. We got to come back to the sheepfold of the Father. Hear his voice, wake up, and come back to the recognition of who you are.
That's right. Let me read this in Isaiah 3:15.
Thank you.
You know, this is all dealing with, as he said, you know, he's going to make us few in number. It says, what mean ye that beat my people to pieces? And grind the faces of the poor, said the Lord God of hosts. I mean, they just destroyed us from the start. Coming in here, like I said, it was hungry like lions and tigers and bears among what? Lambs, among sheep. You know, like we say, Christ said we'll be like sheep led to the slaughter because we didn't follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. You know, it's going to be more and more in detail as we go through this lesson.
And it's just heavy to understand, too, what he's saying, because you know, him referring us to lambs and sheeps and knowing,
Right.
you know, that what they're doing to us is unhumanitarian. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like, man, come on. Y por eso tenemos que leer la palabra de Dios, porque lo que está explicando mi hermano aquí, en lo que vamos a leer en Isaías 3:15, estamos viendo que nosotros nos preguntamos, ¿por qué nos está pasando esto a nosotros?
Léelo.
¿Qué piensas vosotros que magías a mi pueblo y molés las caras de los pobres? Dice el Señor Jehová de los ejércitos. Ejércitos.
En otras palabras está diciendo que por qué nos está pasando esto a nosotros, qué hemos hecho contra el Señor, por qué estos ejércitos están implementando esta clase de violencia en nosotros. Estamos preguntando, pues aquí estamos tratando de dar la respondencia. La respondencia es porque no leemos la palabra de Dios. Lo que hacemos es que vamos a estos sistemas religiosos y vamos a la iglesia los domingos, aunque uno van el sábado, el verdadero día, van y oyen a un hombre que explica el entendimiento de él, no el entendimiento de Dios. Yo también fui católico muchos años, a que un día me desperté y leí la Biblia por yo propio. Y cuando yo leí la Biblia vi que todo lo que leía era contra lo que decía el Padre. Así que el so-called Padre, porque no es padre de nada, nomás padre de mentiras. No quiero ofender a nadie, pero es la verdad. Si no se enojen, lo que debían de hacer es leer la Biblia y se van a dar cuenta con sus propios ojos, su propia mente y su propio corazón.
Es la verdad lo que dice mi hermano, porque como estamos leyendo en el libro, que dice que ellos no respetaron a los padres que teníamos nosotros ya en el terreno de los otros. Ellos sabían quién eran los padres, así como lo llevamos los que tenían la ley levítica de Dios. Entonces ellos, los padres de ellos, se volteaban la espalda de ellos y los enseñaban la palabra de Dios. Y los daban las imágenes de ellos, no las imágenes que dice el libro.
Como decimos, este señor es un padre de la iglesia católica que nos está diciendo las cosas que ellos nos hicieron a nosotros para darnos cuenta. ¿Ok? Y es más, esta es una guerra espiritual, no es una guerra de color ni de piel. Es una guerra espiritual. Tenemos que regresar espiritualmente al Padre para que así lo salve en la hora de todo mal.
De todo mal.
Okay, let me get back into it. It says, to go further in here, like I was telling in Spanish to our brothers and sisters, this is a spiritual warfare. These are the words of Bartolomé de las Casas for himself, as we'll see that he himself is leading you to understand that this is a spiritual warfare.
And he is a Spaniard, right?
And he's a Spaniard, or a bishop ordained by the church.
Right.
He is a testimony among himself and his people on the atrocities that they committed amongst the children of Israel.
Right.
Yeah, he was one of the few. He was one of the first that came to our land and implemented building the churches and everything, you know.
Yeah, this is a man who had slaves himself.
Slaves themselves, right.
Right.
Okay.
Just want to make that clear.
To go further, it says, the huge black shadow of evil that hangs over the devastation of the Indies is one of the timeless aspects Las Casas' testimony. Okay, he's telling you this evil that hangs over the devastation of the Indies. When he says the devastation of the Indies, he's talking about from Brazil to Mexico, the North Americas, and all the islands that are about around it. Okay, he says, reading the book sparkly confronts one with the horrors that occurred in the initial encounters between the Europeans and the so-called Indian Americans. The power of evil emerges as act after act is described by eyewitnesses. Las Casas goes beyond describing events to deal metaphysically with evil. He gives living voices to the screeches of God. I am a Spaniard, a Christian Spaniard, and I must testify. All are repelled by scenes of children being fed to dogs. And this is just this is just the beginning of it. This is about the third page getting into the actual book.
Can I read this out on page 15?
Thank you, my brother. Go ahead.
It says, the way they normally